I'd like to call this meeting to order. This meeting is being held in accordance with the public laws of 1975, Chapter 231. An adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Star Ledger, the local source, and posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the township website. I ask that you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I ask that you please remain standing for a moment of silence for all those who serve our country, both near and not so near. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Capides.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser.
Present.
Committeeman Huber is not with us. Committeeman Laufer.
Present.
Committeeman Weber.
Thank you. We'll begin, as always, with proclamations and announcements. First, I think a majority of us just came from the wonderfully organized and very spectacular Reach Across America presentation. The Daughters of American Revolution, organized with the help of us, with the help of the Board of Education, the annual escort to Arlington, and we were privileged to have them stop in Springfield, New Jersey. We had a ceremony at Jonathan Dayton High School. We want to thank everyone who put in an effort to organize it. We also like to thank this organization for making Springfield a stop on their route. Thank you all for those who helped with Santa visiting Springfield this past Saturday. Police, fire, and all the other entities that helped out, our volunteers. It was very well received, smiling faces everywhere, and it was great, both young and old. Also, the Rotary Club had a very successful Rise Against Hunger Drive. It was at a new place this year. I was not able to attend, but it was also very successful, bagging thousands of meals for the less fortunate. And also, I understand that the Hanukkah celebration at Veterans Park was also just as successful. So a lot of good things happening within our town, community-oriented things, and especially in this time of the season, it's good to help out those in needs, because sometimes our reality and the things that we look forward to are not other people's reality, so it's always good in need. As always, we have our leaf collection November 1st to December 31st. Residents on Township roads, please continue to place leaves in front of your house. Make sure your landscaper knows that there's no sticks or branches to be collected, and do not place leaves closer than 10 feet from any storm drain or catch basin. Just wanted to add another note that I know our township has been receiving many phone calls. There's been a lot of comments on Facebook. They will go through the town, they will go through the entire town, and they will do several stops. This is a long process that takes much energy from the DPW with their resources. They will come by, they will continually canvass the town. Please be patient. They will come to your house. Your leaves will be picked up. They will do it more than once. There's also some comments about scheduling. We used to have a schedule that was put out in previous years. We stopped doing that just because that the schedule used to be so flux with other weather events and things that happened throughout the town that it was very, very hard to maintain on a regular basis. So we do not do a schedule, but we do canvass the town on a regular basis. Your leaves will be picked up. Thank you very much for your patience. The Township reorganization meeting will be on Monday, January 1st, 2024 at 1 p.m. I can't believe, we just had turkey, now we're talking about the holidays, and now New Year's Day. And finally, on a somber note, the Township extends condolences to the family of Eric Heinrich, 81 years, who passed away on November 22nd, 2023. Eric was a jitney driver for us here from 2008 until his retirement in January 2021. So on behalf of the entire Township Committee, our condolences to the Heinrich family. Lastly, we have our Gomes update. On November 29, 2023, the Township submitted a motion to Presiding Judge Mega addressing specific concerns related to the following issues: sight lines at 22 Center Street, sight lines at 30 Caldwell Place, the wooden entrance gate on Center Street, which has fallen on at least 2 occasions, the deterioration of wood fencing along Center and Caldwell, the current state of the rear fence, which is now mangled, the failure to provide clear construction schedule with phasing and other related matters. The court has scheduled a hearing for our motion on December 20th. Additionally, the court may appoint an independent construction manager to assess the progress at the site. Also, Springfield Center has appealed its guilty verdict and the $67,000 fine imposed by the municipal court. The zoning official has issued new summonses, which will be addressed in the municipal court, and we will, of course, continue to keep you informed about the development progress there on this site than you have in a very long time, and we are determined to finish it. That completes my announcements. Any other announcements up here? Also want to note that Committeeman Huber just arrived and took the dais. With that, I'd like to open up the meeting to public comments on agenda items only. Any comments on any agenda items, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, after which we will have comment. Seeing none, I want to close the public comment portion of the meeting and go on to reports. Good evening, John. Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, a few things I wanted to just touch on briefly. On the leaf pickup, if I can piggyback on what you had said, we're started our 3rd pass this week in the township. You can continue to put your leaves out until the 31st. We'll continue to canvass the town. After the 31st, if you have leaves, you can take them up to the recycling center at 44 Morrison Road and dispose of any remaining leaves. We're continuing paving. This is going to be complete our remaining projects for 2023. That is Twin Oaks Oval, Sherwood Road, and Franklin Place today, which will complete what we have done for this particular year. On the Gomes project, I would like to also piggyback on what you said a little bit. We had a meeting on Monday with the owners on site, and for instance, on Caldwell, we're trying to get the siding done on there, the brick and the stone to be finished. What happened was they ran into a situation where, if you look at it, you have brick and then you have the stonework. In the stonework, the windows are a different color to match the stonework. Those windows are on back order, which is delaying them. They've contacted the manufacturer. When this order was originally placed, it was a 6 to 8 week delivery. That time has long passed for those windows, and we still don't have them. So what's going to happen is you see the first section and the last section are not completed. That's where those windows actually are going that we're waiting for. They said that after they receive those windows, and we don't know yet what date that is, there'll be 2 weeks in order to complete those 2 sections. They said that would mean that Caldwell side should be completed right after that, 2 weeks after the windows are received. We are waiting to see. In the meantime, I think you've seen that there's been much more framing work done along Morris and along Center Street. So they continue to make strides. The goal is that they'd like the building to be buttoned up for the winter and continue to work on Caldwell. And by the end of March, they feel that the entire building will be completed as far as the sheathing and the framing, and it'll be buttoned up for them to work on the inside. We had a meeting at the court, as you alluded to. Their lawyers sent a dissertation back to the court. They don't feel that we need to go there on the 20th. Our attorney said, yes, we do, and we're waiting to see what the judge rules on that. We're always going to have different opinions. Their side is saying that we delayed them, in which we don't feel we did, and we feel it necessary to go back to court on the 20th of December to keep the project moving. So we'll see what the judge rules on that. If he does, we'll be back down in Elizabeth on the 20th of December. They are making progress, and we'll continue to meet with them, and we're up there almost on a daily basis. So we'll continue to do that. Really not much of an update on Saks or on the one down at the end of Patriot Way. We're still waiting again on that because American Water is holding us up there. Floor and Decor, we got an issue there. They were trying to open up by the middle of this month towards the end. I spoke to the gentleman that runs that project. He was waiting on JCP&L for electric. So I asked him for the order number for JCP&L. I called JCP&L. What he gave me is not an order number. So I called Floor and Decor back and I said, do you have a DL number? That's the order. Well, we didn't give him an order. So JCP&L didn't have an order from Floor and Decor. The problem that I found out was the lawyers were discussing an easement where the electric has to run underground, and they just finished up the wording with the agreement like on Friday, last Friday. So they never gave an order to JCP&L. Now supposedly they have. The concern is JCP&L, because of supply chain issues, this could be anywhere up to 3 months or so. It's underground, so once the ground freezes, are we gonna have an issue that way? Don't know yet. So we'll keep you abreast as we find out more on that. I've got a phone call into JCP&L today to make sure that they do have the order and what they're seeing. So I will update you at the next meeting on where we are there. We did put them, though, on the tax rolls. So they are on the tax rolls. And I can tell you that our construction official is trying every which way to help them. The state does not allow them to open up with a generator. They have to have electric. So I don't think they're going to be able to open before the electric is done. But they are on the tax roll, so we've got them. Come August, there will be a payment for taxes due.
So this is nothing to do with us, this is them.
We have bent over backwards making sure inspections are done, permits were issued. We've done everything we could to help move that project along. And I commend our building department, again, for rushing. You know, when they got a request, they jumped on it immediately. So we have not held them up a single day. We've done everything we can to help them get open. This kind of is on them, unfortunately. If there are any questions or comments, I'd be happy to answer. Mr. Huber?
Yes. I'm going to get Mike to go out there tomorrow with Gomes and see if he can put scaffolding up. They can walk underneath it and put protection up, and we do it all the time.
That is in the hands of the court. We have to wait till the 20th
20th?
of December.
Why you
It's, yeah, because they're
don't want to do it?
they're disagreeing. They didn't put the scaffolding up that we asked for, but they're getting the cladding done on the side of the building. But that doesn't open up the sidewalks. And we asked them to put typical scaffolding you can see in New York. Lighting, you can walk underneath, it's covered, it's protected. You saw what we got. So we got the judge is going to opine on that again come the 20th.
And they're taking the tack to litigate everything.
Yep. Yeah, you know, for instance, I mean, we got the stupid gate that's made out of wood. We've been arguing over this for, I can't tell you how long. We're back in court on that again on the 20th also. So we'll continue. I mean, if that's the way they choose to go, we'll keep going to court with them. If that's the only thing that gets them to move, then that's what'll be done.
Anything else for John?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Basicolo. Moving on to minutes and report for approval.
I'll make a motion to adopt the regular and executive meeting minutes of August 8th, the special meeting minutes of August 28th, the regular and executive meeting minutes of September 12th, and the regular and executive meeting minutes of September 26th, 2023, as emailed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I just add something I thought I
Sure.
forgot to mention? We did go out, DPW was out on Sunday night, speaking of leaves, cleaning out basins, making sure that things flowed, because we were worried about leaves blocking up basins. And some of the roads were not ours also, they were county. But we took the time, we went on overtime, we had a crew in, and we did clean everything up, and I think that eliminated any flooding we had. We also pulled some of the debris out of the river that was blocking. Again, that's county, it's not ours, but we did what we had to do to try to clean it, and we'll continue to work with the county to try to get that cleaned. It'll get there, it's difficult. It's time consuming, and we've got to share. There are other places the county needs to go also. We can't happen overnight, so we're working on it.
Thank you. All right, We have one ordinance for second reading. Madam Clerk, could you read ordinance by title?
Yes, ordinance 2023-26. This ordinance amends the provisions of the Township Code regarding the designation of a fire inspector.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 2023-26 as read by Madam Clerk, publicized in a local source, December 21st, 2023.
It is now time for public hearing. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on ordinance 2023-26, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes to respond, and then you can, we will respond if necessary. Hearing none, I want to close the public hearing portion. We've spoken about this last meeting. If anyone has any questions, no?
No.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber? Committeeman Laufer?
Yes.
Mayor Capides?
Yes. Next, we have resolutions. I want to do them on consent agenda. If you have any resolutions you'd like to pull, please make note of it as I call them out. 2023-286, 287, 288, 289, 290, 291, 292, 293, 294, 295, 296, 297, 298, 299, 300, 301. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion?
Second.
Just for the record, we're doing a motions for resolutions
Oh, resolution,
286
I'm sorry,
to
from 2,
301.
what was it, 2023-26 to 301.
Perfect. Who seconded that?
Me.
Committeeman Laufer did? Awesome. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Huber? Committeeman Laufer?
Yes. Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser? Yes. Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Capides?
Yes. Any discussion and action items? I see none. Does anyone have any up here?
Nope.
Seeing none, going on to finance.
I will make a motion to adopt payroll and invoices for the period of November 22nd through December 12th, 2023, in the amount of $2,628,171.13.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber? Committeeman Laufer? Yes. Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Capides?
Yes, we have two correspondents. First one from Sovereign Consulting, Inc., public notification letter regarding BP Service Station regarding the continuous investigation and remediation for environmental contamination. Correspondence B, Synergy Environmental, CEA, notification letter for TNC Auto at 245 Mountain Avenue regarding groundwater monitoring. I ask that these be received and filed. Public comment on any governmental issue. Anyone from the public wishing to be heard, please step forward. State your name and address. You'll have 4 minutes. I said 5 minutes before, but it's actually 4 minutes, after which the Township Committee may respond.
Art Frankel, Sycamore Terrace in Springfield.
Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. I was here a number of weeks ago, and one of the things I had mentioned, I believe Mr. Weber was the only one not present at that meeting, had mentioned something that came to my attention when we were looking to do some work at our house. And it was regarding a survey that's required for construction. And when I mentioned it, and I said, isn't it something that could be taken care of in terms of every new homeowner that comes in has to provide a survey? And shouldn't that be something that can be kept on record, because people have a tendency to misplace them, and it can cost up to $750 to $1,200. And every one of you nodded affirmatively, and I'm just curious if anything was done since that time, because it's about 2 months ago.
I can answer that.
Sure.
You cannot photocopy them or digitize them because they're done to scale. And once you do that, it changes the scale. And if we would have to hold on to papers, you can imagine we're trying to get away from that. So that's why we can't store them.
That's interesting. Okay. You learn something
you go.
Okay. One of the other things was, you had mentioned regarding the health insurance, and you said you have a health consultant now.
Yes.
I believe it's Brown and Brown, if I'm not mistaken. But in any event, the consultant, is that group going to consult, or are they going to offer the program to you and act as a broker on it?
I'm not exactly sure in what capacity they serve us and help us. Would you like to answer that, please?
Acrisure was appointed as the township's broker and consultant.
Correct.
So they're currently, they're performing those functions currently.
So they're being compensated by the program that you put in as opposed to consulting fee?
Correct.
Okay. When I was in office, I found out when I was looking at these things that the township at that time wasn't aware that there can be a request as to the commission that is given to the broker. And it was 5% at the time, which was unheard of. And when we brought new people in, we told them we would prefer it to be 2%, but 3% was the maximum. Now, I don't know if anybody has expressed that to you, but that is an industry standard. And there is no reason that the township should not be aware of that, either from the broker or from anyone else who can tell you that information in that industry. And there's no reason we should be paying the higher commission rate for a program that's brought in. So I want to make
Sure. Yeah.
terrific. As I say, when I found out it was 5% back many years ago, a lot of people aren't aware of that, so it's something important. The last thing was, I wanted to ask, I had mentioned when I was here that first time, I inquired about the bond that was paid off from the surplus funds. And I know Mr. Huber had mentioned that there was a recommendation that was made. And then I came a few weeks later to find out from the CFO what the interest rate was of the bond. So my question is, where was the recommendation? Where did that originate? Was that internally? Was that from the CFO? How did that come about?
Every year when we do the budget, as I'm sure you're aware, the finance committee meets with the CFO, and they determine what the budget is going to be for the following year in consulting with all the other township employees and administrators.
Yeah, but that's not answering what I'm asking. How was that decision made to retire that particular bond, which was 4%, whereas interest rates right now are relatively high? And as I mentioned at that time, there is an expression called good debt. Good debt.
Right, I understand.
Okay, so-
Would our CFO or anyone from the finance committee would like to respond to that?
As I said, we've been on a pathway and a priorities to pay down our debt rather aggressively from the time even that predates our current CFO and was our former CFO of Michael Quick, and who I worked with, I think, on my first budget. And we continued that priority going forward. To the advice and that we received to pay down that debt, it was in certainly consultation with our CFO and the township committee, but then also our financial advisors that we currently have that work for us, and our auditors and bond counsel, I believe, so.
Is there?
And Mr. Frankel, the 4 minutes has expired.
Okay, I'll sit and stand back up if somebody else wants to.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wishing to speak?
Brad Weinberger, Colfax Road. Two things that brought me in tonight. One, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the former Taco Bell up on Morris Ave.
Yes.
And the large tree that is in front of
Cut
it.
and stand and there.
Tree that's no longer in front of
Correct. I wanted to know what had happened, why did that happen?
That is, as I think you're aware, Morris Avenue is a state highway. The state cut that tree down.
Did they give a reason at all?
Well, it was in the power lines also. So we had asked to get the branches trimmed because we were having some issues with the power. The state decided to cut it down. I'm not sure what the reasoning was, but again, they don't consult with us on it because it's not our tree.
That was, as far as I know, the last elm tree on Morris. And for those that don't know, historically, this area used to have elms everywhere until the Dutch elm disease pretty much wiped them all out. So I literally almost crashed my car driving the first time past it when I saw what was left of it. So all right, so I have to go after the state then, basically. Second point or issue that brought me in, our permitting process. I recently have to have a couple of permits done on the house. File the paperwork, come to make the appointments, call in to schedule that. And I'm told that basically, and from what I gather, it seems we contract this out to out-of-town inspectors who come in and sign off. In today's day and age, why they can't use a cell phone and be receptive to texting people to say, hey, I'm going to be here in X amount of time to make sure they're there, and that they expect us to sit for an entire day at home missing work is unacceptable, and it's what I've encountered. When I spoke to the person at the town to make the appointment, and I explained all this to her, I asked her, well, how do you schedule these? How do you send them over? Oh, we email it. Okay. Put a note on the front page, the cover page, with my name and text and cell number, and ask them to just kindly text me. I'm fortunate I work in town, so I can be there within 10 minutes. The day arrived, 2 inspectors showed up. I have video of them leaving. They left the notes on the door. We missed you, and that was that. And you know for a fact they've got cell phones. So I don't know how this could happen in this day and age, but I want you to be aware of it, and it's something that really should be put in place. If we're paying someone good money to come into town and provide us required service, they darn well best be receptive to making it as accommodating for us as possible.
Agree.
That's what I
I
got.
agree, and I apologize for your unpleasant experience, and if you want to share your contact information with Mr. Basicolo, the next time we will make sure that the process is easier for you and the inspector's schedule. And again, we apologize.
Yeah, I mean,
It shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't.
You're right.
Not to interrupt and all, but I've seen inspections, I've had inspections, and they've come, they've said they will be there around 8 o'clock in the morning. As a matter of fact, even a plumber, to accommodate people, would want to be there at 6:30 in the morning, so you can go to work. And I apologize for that, but it would.
Yeah, it's not an unreasonable request.
Not at all. Thank you.
'Cause I still need to get those done, but I'm not taking a day off of work.
No, you're right.
Anyone else from the public wishing to be heard? Okay, I'm going to close.
Yes, I do.
Well, you already, you spoke once,
I sat down.
right,
Okay.
but I'm
But
only,
my 4 minutes, you responded in 2 of them, and I thought there was a 5-minute period for you to respond. So can you eat up some of my 4 minutes?
well, that's because you did not,
I didn't interrupt you. Okay.
no, we're not, I am closing public comment on environmental
Okay.
issues.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We have an executive session. Madam Clerk, will
Yes.
you read the
Resolution,
please?
Resolution 121223, whereas Article 6 of the Open Public Meetings Act provides that a public body may hold a closed session, and whereas the Township Committee will, during this meeting, enter into discussion of the following matters involving protecting public safety and property. Whereas matters to be discussed in closed session are to remain in the strictest of confidence by all Township Committee members in furtherance of their fiduciary duties to the Township. Now therefore, be it resolved, matters discussed at this meeting will be released to the public when the reasons for discussing and acting upon them in closed session no longer exists. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. We're going into executive session. We may take action coming out. Do I have a second? All in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.